All right, what is up, Utes fans? This is Joseph back with the Utah Utes Football Digest, and I can tell you guys it is good to be here. Always a long week. I wish it was a little more exciting of a game this week, but either way, absolutely ecstatic to be here. Absolutely ecstatic to. It's going to be an awesome Saturday. It's going to be an awesome game. A bunch of great games. For us, this game is less about whether we win or lose. Obviously, it's a big problem if we lose, which I really don't see happening. But it's really about looking at the team, analytically, what we could do better. What happened last week that happens again this week? What happened last week that doesn't happen again this week? If that kind of makes sense to everybody. But I also I'll post this up here. I put the link in the chat if you guys see it. If anyone's at the game or you're at home or whatever, and you want to hop on the video stream and just kind of show us your setup and show us, or just any questions or comments you have, more than happy to have you guys on this morning. We'll go here for about 20-25 minutes, have a lot of fun. If you haven't already, please do like the video. Also, comment below who you're going to be watching today. Who are your, players that you're really excited to see if, a great game last week is going to be followed up with another great game this week, or a bad game last week is going to be followed up with a much better game this week. But I think what's going to be fun is, if you guys have been around the channel for a while, a big thing that we do is we look at PFF grades, right? PFF grades are awesome. Like they look at every single play, and they give us an idea of how these players actually looked if we watched every single play. And so because of that, we're going to spend a good amount of time today looking at some of the Utah PFF grades. And the reason I want to do this, and the reason I feel this is important, is let's take a look at how their PFF grade was, and let's, decide, and let's keep an eye on that this week. So we're going to start from the bottom up. So we'll start with edge defender. And obviously, you can see there, Van Fillinger, very concerning, a 48 overall PFF grade. Obviously, the run defense was pretty horrible. He struggled, to tackle anybody. So a 54 grade. And to be clear, guys, I'm very high on Van Fillinger. I don't love seeing that. Tat says, go Utes. Keenan says, love the videos. Let's go Utes. Absolutely, guys. Please do like the videos. You guys come in here. Goes a long way. The other thing that I think is a surprising, good thing is Jonah Ellis right here. Huh, guys? Check him out. Jonah Ellis, 83.8 run defense grade. That is an awesome run defense grade, especially considering that he isn't exactly there to be a run defender. He's more of a sideline to sideline kind of guy, very mobile. You guys get what I'm saying? And I do see someone I think they're trying to get in and hop on the live stream for a minute here. If you do, the only way I can bring you on is if you allow access to your mic and or your camera. So I'm more than happy to have you on. Just make sure you do that. So right there, right, you'd like a better pass rush grade from both these guys, a really bad pass rush grade from Van Fillinger last week. But I would take that with a grain of salt when you consider I'm pretty sure the DNs were containing all night, right? Like, I don't know if you guys noticed that, but it was literally like every time the DN would just stand up with their tackle, kind of brush off to the side, and it looked like it was purposely they were just containing all night. So that's that. So, we want to hopefully see Jonah Ellis follow this up with a great performance this week, and maybe we should be, pretty excited about what he's bringing to the table. But then more than that, we want to see a decent performance by Van Fillinger this week. That's a really bad performance. 48.4, guys. That's very low. That's not what we want to see. So hopefully he can follow that up with something a little more serviceable, right? The next group I want to look at is going to be the interior defenders. Now, the interior defenders, let me pull up Utah. All right, so the interior defenders are, interior defensive linemen. Just atrocious grades here, right, guys? I mean, a 39.2 and a 42.4. I can't imagine them looking. I mean, damn. When you guys see how well they ran the ball on us, I mean, you got to blame this D line for a lot of that when you look at these grades. The tackling was bad. The Gap control is bad. Jesus, dude. A 35.7 run defense grade for Junior Tafuna and a 40.2 for Tennessee Pututau. That's rough, guys. That's rough. Oh, wow. Greg with the super chat. Greg, $10 is awesome, man. Go Utes. Hey, thanks so much, Greg. Hey, if you have any specific questions that you want to ask, please do drop them in the comment section, man. I would love to take a little time to address your question. Thanks so much, man. That goes a long way, and I appreciate it a lot. That's awesome, man. Great guy. Make sure you drop any questions you have in the chat, Greg. I'd love to spend a little bit of time on them. So yeah, the pass rush grades aren't horrid, but they're pretty bad as well. We need more. We need more. That's not going to be serviceable. And then I honestly was pretty high on this D line, so I was a little shocked at how poor the D line played against Florida and how poor they graded out. Right, that was pretty wild. Swaggy P says, "How can I watch the game?" Swaggy P. So what you're going to need to do is you're going to need to have Pac-12 network. Yep, just like Greg Hawkins said, I got it going on behind me there. But yeah, you need the Pac-12 network if you want to watch the Utes game. But I'm sure you could find it somewhere if you look around. I won't give you too much detail on that. All right, and then boom. Let's see. Okay, so linebackers, guys. Let's go ahead and pull up the Utah linebackers. Honestly, so far on defense, it's basically just really bad grades across the board. So we're looking to just see something a little more serviceable this week. Yep. So Karine Reed, a 54, kind of what we expected, right? Nothing great from him, nothing terrible. He shined. It was just like last season, guys. Like Karine Reed shined in moments against Florida and looked terrible in moments against Florida. But I did feel by the end of the game that Karine Reed felt a little more serviceable all around than he did last year. So definitely a guy that I'm actually kind of excited about. If you guys are big Karine Reed fans, please do like the video. Drop a comment in the comment section below. And be like Greg. Greg dropped a super chat. That was awesome, Greg. If you guys want to donate to the channel or have a specific question that you'd like me to spend some time on, please do drop a super chat. That's awesome. And then Mahmoud Diabate. So very mixed feelings about this grade. If anyone has been following this channel, this 46 overall grade, you know that I have talked about Mahmoud Diabate. I'm going to preface this. I hope he kills it the rest of the season. I hope he does an amazing job. But to be fair, I've been talking about this for months. This guy had a bad PFF grade, or, a very mediocre PFF grade coming into this year, very one-dimensional, and I'm not shocked to see him have such a bad PFF grade. Obviously, I think that'll go up. I think he's been like a 65 or so the past couple of years. Let's pull that up. He's been about a 65 or so the past couple. Oh, okay. No, so not even that. So, 56 in 2021, 57 in 2020, and a 68.2 in 2019. So pretty rough PFF grades the past couple of years. So I wasn't shocked that, he didn't do a great job last week, but it is what it is. Hopefully he rebounds. So basically already just going through this, guys. So Swaggy P says, I'm going to be a Utah linebacker next year. Well, Swaggy P, drop your name in the chat, man, so we can know who you are and keep an eye out for you. That's awesome, man. Congrats. Okay. And then, so that front seven, ton of work needed there. Hopefully they can, really, that's the group I'm watching. I'm sure you guys are with me. That's who I want to see this week. That was embarrassing. That can't happen again. So, okay, honestly, pretty bad grade. Damn, this whole defense struggled, huh? This whole defense had a bad time last week. Swaggy P says, my name is Diego Greateron. Okay, cool, man. Well, I'll keep an eye out for you, man. Good luck at the U next year. So Cole Bishop with a 51 overall grade. Very good pass rush grade, 73. That's awesome. Pretty bad run defense grade and really bad coverage grade. So that's the thing about Cole Bishop we've been talking about all offseason is he's not a great coverage guy, right? That was a good Florida team. But for him to have a 55 run defense grade is not okay. If he wants to be out there lighting people up, because that's what he does well is the run defense. So if he wants to keep if he wants to keep being a high level starter, That type of run defense grade is not okay. That guy was in the 90s last year. I feel pretty confident saying that that was a bit of a fluke, just a really tough game against a really good Florida team. And Anthony Richardson was incredibly difficult to tackle. And if you guys are enjoying the video, please do like the video, comment in the chat box, get involved, right? Get involved in the conversation. We have a lot of fun. If you want to support the channel, please drop a super chat like Greg here. That was awesome, Greg. And if you drop a super chat and you have a specific question you want me to spend a little bit of time on, I'm more than happy to do that. So the TJ Builder, I want to see big improvement from the defense today. I also want to see Cam get some deep passes to Vele. Yeah, I'm a bit of a Cam defender. I'll admit to that. I have trouble seeing much wrong. I think he's extremely talented. But I will also say that I wonder if a lot of the reason the receivers don't get involved in the game is because of Cam, right? It becomes a question. It's not that Cam's doing anything wrong, but it's like, how often is he looking at the middle of the field rather than the outside, or just, locking in on a tight end rather than checking, going through his progressions? We're not in the quarterback room. We're not in the film room. We don't know exactly how this looks in the time. So I agree, TJ. That was something I was thinking about throughout the week, was hopefully we see Vele and Enos and Mekhi Cope and Money Parks, start to get some of those passes thrown their way, because if we're a just tight end reliant offense, it's pretty, like, even with incredible tight ends, it's pretty easy for a team to just say, shut down their tight ends, like give their receivers room. He doesn't throw to the receivers, just shut down those tight ends. All right, RJ Hubert. So this is a pretty rough grade, okay coverage grade. So that's the, silver lining, but a 46 overall grade and a 29.6 run defense grade. That is wild, right? 29.6 run defense grade. That is terrible. That is like, that's literally, the equivalent of having like a third string guy in there against the run. That's bad against the run. So that's really bad. Let's definitely keep an eye on RJ Hubert today. See if that improved a little. Greg says Texas putting a beat down on Alabama offense right now. Yeah, that's definitely a game I've wanted to keep an eye on. That's exciting. What are we talking about here, Greg? How well are they doing? Are they like? Oh, wow. It is tied up. Holy cow. We're midway through the second quarter in the Texas-Alabama game, and it is tied up 10-10. Damn. That's not what I expected. But you know how college football goes. I'm sure you guys all know this. A lot of the time games are close early, and then the better team starts to really pull away as you get into like that early third, mid third. So we'll see. But definitely, thanks for bringing that up, Greg. We'll definitely keep an eye on that game. All right. And if you guys didn't know already, if you're coming in late, I dropped the Alabama looks sick. Yeah, I'll definitely catch that game right after we get done here. If you guys didn't catch it already, I put the link to the chat the link to the stream in the chat. So if you guys do want to hop on with video and, have a decent internet connection, or you're at the game and want to show us what you're seeing at the game in the stands, more than happy to bring you guys on for a little while. I'd love to talk to you. So just use that link. It's one of the first comments. So that'd be awesome. And anyway, so let's take a look at the Utah corners. Okay, so far, by far, the best defensive grades are the corners. Clark Phillips with a 65.5, 64 coverage grade, and a 64 run grade. To be clear, that's not a bad grade, right? Compared to the rest of the defense, that looks amazing, but that's really not an amazing grade. That's all four of our, just to give you guys perspective, all 4 or 5 of our corners that qualified for grading last year graded above that. Okay, so that's not a good grade. If Clark Phillips wants to be this, first round pick that people are hyping him up as, that grade needs to be significantly better. To be clear, guys, that's and then to Travis Broughton, solid grade, really bad run defense grade, but a decent coverage grade at a 60. Those two graded higher than anyone on the defense. Oh, except Jonah Ellis. Remember, guys, Jonah Ellis actually had a really good grade. So hopefully he follows that up again this week. We could have a little budding star, but it is one game, so take it with a grain of salt. Mate Ellie, decent against the run, pretty bad in coverage. You know, it's always a weird feeling when you see a defender do decent, corner do decent against the run, but bad in coverage, because you are happy he did decent against the run, but at the same time, doing that bad in coverage as a corner, it's kind of like run defense is a bonus as a corner and coverage is a requirement. Does that make sense, guys? It all depends on the defensive scheme and all that, but almost any play, that's kind of how that works. All right, well, I want you guys to get to the game, so I'm going to try to run through these last couple positions a little quicker. Let's see. Boom. So I hadn't really looked at the defense that much, but I did look at the offense. So these two were really surprising to me. Laumea and Braden Daniels had some tough PFF grades. And you know, if you guys have been following this channel, you guys know that I am a big Braden Daniels fan. I think he is going to be a big time NFL prospect at the end of this year. TJ says, how many points are we thinking Utah will score today? They're minus 45 on the spread. My guess would be probably like 38-7 would be my guess, you know, knocking some of the rest off from last week. But I would also say optimistically 45-7, 48-7, something like that. But, you know, really good team either way. So Laumea really struggled in pass protection. I mean, that was a good D line, so take this with a grain of salt, but damn, really struggled. A 32 grade. That's like a terrible grade. He was also playing out of position at tackle, so take that into account as well. Braden Daniels, pretty decent in pass blocking, which is kind of his specialty, but run blocking was pretty bad, so that's unacceptable. I'm sure he knows that. You know, this is a guy that's probably going in the day 1 or day 2 of the NFL draft. So I doubt he's going to follow that up with. I would expect that he just scores through the roof. And a lot of this offensive line is going to score through the roof today. Keaton Bills, hot damn, son. 59.9 overall grade. But the big highlight is this, a 87 pass block grade, dude. That's pretty damn nice. How many snaps is that on? 73 snaps. Nice, dude. That is awesome. 36 of those being pass blocking snaps. That's really good. Hard to call the pass D too harsh, though, because Richardson didn't exactly light it up in the passing game. Yeah, I mean, whether they get yards or not in the passing game, CKS, if corners don't do a good job covering, whether the ball is thrown their way or not, PFF's going to grade that. So I would definitely take those pass defense grades to heart. All right, and then Mokofisi, 50 pass block, 45 run block, pretty terrible there. It's kind of like last year. I don't know if you guys remember going through the PFF grades last year. It took a few games to get the ball rolling, guys. We were not ready to go right out of the gate. We took a little while to get the ball rolling. And as you guys jump into the video, please do like the video. Get it out to more Utes fans. Comment below, who are you guys watching today? Who is the #1 player you want to see bounce back? For me, honestly, so far, it's probably Van Fillinger. Van Fillinger really fell off last week, and I was a little disappointed. So I'd really like to see him bounce back with a great game today. And I think everyone's going to have a pretty good game. But don't forget, guys, you come off that bad of a game and you're going against the FCS team. I'm expecting elite games from a lot of these guys, just so we're on the same page. Okay, Paul Miley, really bad run block grade. That's not acceptable. But at 85 pass block grade, that is awesome. You know, this is pretty exciting, guys, when I see how many of the guys on this offensive line came out with really good pass blocking grades against a really good defense. So that's something we should take into account and be excited about. That's good news. So especially, you know, with the passing game we hope to have as we hit these next couple games. If those guys can hold the pocket like that, that'd be pretty awesome for our team. All right, now let's go ahead and look at tight ends. Of course, Keithy, dude, killed it. 75 overall grade. I believe that's the highest grade on the team so far. 77.8 receiving grade. Not too great of a run blocking grade. It's pretty bad. A 50. Dalton Kincaid, surprised to see a 50 overall grade from him. 60.3 receiving, serviceable, but below average. Pass block grade, 63. Run block, straight terrible, 41. I would say definitely keep an eye on how those two are run blocking this week. That's what I take away from that. I mean, I have no doubt that Kincaid's a good receiver. He did it time and time again last year, but that type of run blocking grade from both these guys is a little disappointing. So I think we might have my boy Logan Kendall up here. Let's see how he did. Boom. And to be fair, if Logan Kendall is up here, let's see. I don't know yet, but he is his first game at the FBS level. So, they're not going to show him. Ignore snap minimum, maybe, or maybe they have him listed as a tight end. Am I the only one? I want to take an extra second to look at Logan Kendall here. He's a guy that I was really hyped on. I mean, probably one of the best tapes I've seen in a long time. Logan Kendall. Okay, check it out. Awesome. By far the best run blocking grade out of everybody. A good pass blocking grade too. Not a great receiving grade, but that's not what he's here for. Overall grade, you'd like it to be better. But either way, that's on 21 snaps. It's a decent number of snaps. Good for you, Logan. If you're watching, man, or your Logan's parents watching, and that's awesome, dude. He's a great kid. I interviewed him, and I loved having him on. Omar says, I'm really hoping to see the receivers step up and make some plays, and I was really disappointed with the DNs last week, so I'm hoping they step up today. Yeah, Omar, if you go back to the beginning of the video, we broke down the DNs grades. Jonah Ellis, very good grade, one of the best grades on the team so far. But Van Fillinger, very bad grade, and the defensive interior, straight terrible. So we're definitely going to want to see some better grades from this week. And as you guys come in here, please do like the video. It goes a long way. We got a few minutes here before the game starts. I have the link in the chat. If anyone does want to hop on the live stream and talk a little bit, I'd be more than happy to. And now let's go ahead. We didn't have any fullbacks, so is what it is there. So let's go ahead and move to running backs. Boom. All right, running backs. So running backs, we had a good stack of guys playing running back. I'll look at, and just so you guys know, the one you guys are wondering about graded out very well, Tavion Thomas. I think that is the highest grade on the team. Terrible pass blocking grade. That's not okay. Kind of bad receiving grade too. That's never been his specialty. That's a little too low for my liking, right? I'd like to see that in the 60s, just so it's not. Tat says Cole Bishop is one to watch. Yeah, he's going to need to follow that up. I think he will. I have really no doubt in my mind Cole Bishop will. I remember there were times where I really started to feel like Anthony Richardson was a freak. I know the media and BYU fans have been clowning us a little bit about how we're acting like Anthony Richardson is the second coming. But if you guys watch that game, I remember there was one play. I don't remember exactly when it happened, but Cole Bishop met Anthony Richardson in the hole, squares up on him, thrust, just shoulder to the stomach, perfect form, and just bounces off, dude. I don't know if you guys remember that play. That was the play where I was like, oh, damn, this guy's legit. It looked like he hit a brick wall. It must have just been straight muscle, and he just bounced off. And so I got to imagine a lot of that was just how damn good Anthony Richardson was. Okay, so really awesome grades from all the running backs here. So Chris Curry is 69, Mekhi Bernard a 68. Mekhi Bernard, just a well-rounded guy. I'd like to see a little better of a running grade, but a great receiving grade, great pass block grade. That is awesome. Even a good run block grade. Same with Chris Curry, solid running grade. These aren't good grades in pass blocking, but they're for run blocking. But for a running back to run block, I mean, that's just kind of a bonus, right? Okay, so this is going to be an interesting grade to look at. I know we've all been wondering why these receivers didn't do anything. So let's find out how much of this was them and how much of this was Rising not hitting the open guy. So Vele, the grade's not terrible here, right? The running grade, he had that one run, could be better, but not bad. Receiving grade could be better, but not terrible. Okay, run block grade. Enos, a pretty good run block grade and a pretty bad receiving grade. So that doesn't really tell you anything. It's kind of tough. Tyquan Gilmore got in there. I didn't see that, but he was a guy interviewed on the channel, Jalen Dixon. So definitely the receivers. What I like is none of these guys have terrible grades right here, but you really would like to see some better grades from these guys. So hopefully this week they can kind of show out. That's a big position I'm going to be watching, who's going to step up and start to establish themselves. Because I'm sure if some receiver has a big game today, seriously, guys, that they're going to give them opportunities. You got to imagine that. Like, did you guys hear about that the wide receiver meeting where he was just like, listen, you got to demand the ball. You can't just be out here trying to get open and hoping they throw you the ball. You got to demand the ball. You got to go up and get it, which is awesome, dude, because that's how I feel. It's like, yo, this is wide open, guys. Someone goes out there, makes a name for themselves, they could be a superstar in the making. Greg says, part of me wonders how Florida's DBs graded since we didn't see too many open looks with the wide receivers in that game. You know what, Greg? Because you're super chat, you know what we're going to do, bud? All right, we're going to go check out the Florida DBs. I don't do this for everybody, but Greg dropped a $10 super chat earlier, which was awesome. So we're going to go let's check out these Florida corners. We got a few minutes here before we got to get out and go watch the game. Just so you guys know, if you haven't already bookmarked it, after the game, we'll be going live again to talk about what we saw, talk about who looked good, talk about who needed to improve. So make sure you guys make a note to hop back on after the game. We're looking here, Greg. I don't see any, these are decent grades, but none of this is spectacular. Okay coverage grades by all of them, but, nothing amazing. So I would say we need more from the receivers, right? But it could be, you don't know yet. You really don't know yet. Okay. Because we don't know if those are really good corners and these are really good receivers. All right. Final one we're going to look at is going to be Cam Rising. Cam, the man, all league, Pac-12, Rising, right? All right. So Cam Rising, 64 overall grade, guys. A 73.8 running grade. And obviously he was on fire running the ball. He really was. It was nuts. He was averaging 13 yards a carry. It was 7 carries for 90 yards. This is concerning. I'm just going to be honest. And I'm the biggest fan in the world. That was a really tough team, but that's not okay. And I'm guessing what that was, because I'm sure a lot of you guys saw the what's his name? Brian Brown. I think that's his name. And Brian, if you're watching this, I'm sorry. I just can't think of your name. I think it's it. Brian Brown. It's like Brown Bear on Twitter. But he showed a clip, and I've seen other people talk about it as well, where on that final play where Cam threw the interception, if he would have just looked right, Solomon Enos was wide open. And so that's kind of what has me in that mindset where it's okay, how much is he just locking down his eyes on his tight ends because they're so damn good? That's definitely something we want to see him take a step in. And it was a nerve-wracking game. It was such an intense game and an intense environment that I could imagine why that'd be so stressful for him, right? And why it'd be tough to make decisions very well. But outside of that, guys, hopefully we see Cam take a big step next week or, in 3 minutes here. But outside of that, corner, I just saw you hopped on, man. I'm going to hop off here to go ahead and watch the game, and I'm going to make my notes, and we'll hop back on after the game. So if you do, I'll do the same thing after the game if you guys want to jump on. So be prepared for that. And I wish you guys the best. Like the video before you guys leave, please. I am out of here. Subscribe to the channel. If you guys are a big Utah Utes football fan, I'm going to be bringing you guys content like this all the time. This is one of my favorite things in the world to do, and I really enjoy interacting with you guys. Outside of that, though, enjoy the game, guys. Be safe, and let's hope we see a big turnaround this week from what we saw last week. Keep an eye on that front seven, people. I'm going to be watching them too. All right, and go Utes. Javelin Joe will be after the game. Very cool, Joe. Enjoy your show. Thanks, Tat. Bye, guys.